YouTube modelers, Darren here, back again, this time with segment 2 of our Kittyhawk 1/32 scale RF-5E Tigereye build review. First, I know it's been a while. I've owed you all this installment for a while, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I just kind of lost interest in the project. Work kind of got in the way. I had some travel overseas. That's died off, and I got back down here to the desk and or to the bench, and have kind of picked it back up and starting to jump into it with 2 feet. I've kind of found my quote unquote, there's my quotes, mojo again. So I'm having a little bit of fun doing some detailing on the cockpit. Now let's back up just a little bit. In the last the opening one, when I did the sprue review, the inbox review, I said that I was going to do this pretty much out of the box. I wasn't going to get into a lot of detail. Case in point, was going to use like decals for the instruments, which came with the kit. Well, the decals themselves, which is the first thing I want to talk about, kind of took a turn, and that's actually when I lost interest. The decals kind of turned me off. The console. So let's talk about the decals first, okay? It's only had to deal with one so far, and it was not a pleasant experience. So down here on my bench, you'll see what's left of the instrument panel decal. And you see I've got it all cut apart. So here is, sorry about that big old sling there, folks, but there's the instrument panel. Still needs a little bit of work, but you can see where I'm going with it. So here's what happened. I took the decal, cut it out, used all my decal set, or not decal, sorry, let's see, micro set it in place, hit it with some micro saw, and let it sit. Came back down, nothing was conforming. It wasn't even sticking. So then I got out the hotter stuff, the Solvaset. Put the Solvaset, I hit it twice with Solvaset, came down the next morning and was able to peel the whole decal off with my fingers. Didn't tear, didn't rip, didn't conform, didn't stick, didn't do anything. So frustrating to say the least, but I ended up going ahead and pulling it off. And at that point I decided to use my punch, cut out the dials, cut out a few other things, paint it, and do it myself. So do it my own way, and that's where we're at. So that was the first. Second thing was the instructions. And here we'll go back down here again to the desk and look. There's my pointer. I just used my pen. So the instructions are pretty straightforward. I'm not gonna lie to you. The problem is when it comes to colors, and I mentioned this in my last, or in the first episode, that they don't call it. This says dark gold gray, and it just points to a few pieces. And I was wondering, like, this says red, but my reference pictures show black for like the headrest. This all says dark gold gray, and my question here was, well, what about these boxes? It doesn't really point to the boxes itself, it points to the bulkhead. Okay, common sense would say that maybe they're talking about the whole assembly. But I was looking for a little bit more detail when it comes to color callouts, right? So what is that? Where does that take you? That takes you to reference pictures. Folks, I cannot stress the importance of finding good reference pictures and using those over anything you find in color callouts. Okay? Reference pictures, reference pictures, reference pictures. Which I'm going to come back to these in a second, because I'm going to show you all some of the detailing I'm going to do. And that's all because of the reference pictures, right? So, anyhow, that's where I'm at. I'm in here. I went ahead and painted the consoles. Here's the cockpit itself, the tub. You can see I've started to do a little detail work up here on top with some lead wire, turn in some wiring harnesses, run some stuff down here. I went ahead and hand painted these and weathered them. That way I don't have to use the decals there. I'm really disappointed with the whole decal deal. The ejection seat, I've done a little extra work here. Note that these O2 hoses and G-suit hoses, I've gone, I'm going to put that up here so you can see it a little bit better, and taken lead wire and wrapped and made my own hoses. I think that's really going to make a nice effect once it's all installed and weathered. Did a little plumbing on the sides over here, and it really looks fairly well once we get it all in place. You see it's going to detail up really nicely, I think. So this lead wire, I'll tell you, Will Patterson has a really good video on, and I'll link it over here, up here. Check it out. A really good video on the use of lead wire and how to plumb and make hydraulic lines, etc., etc. Outstanding video. Go ahead and check it out when you get a chance. You'll learn a lot there, I promise. But lead wire, you know, this is what I use. This here I got this off Amazon, and you know, I'll link that down here in the descriptions. But it comes different sizes of lead wire, 0.010 up to 0.035. Fairly inexpensive lead wire assortment from White River. And like I said, I'll link that down there, along with my my little circuit card drill bits that I use to drill all the pilots with. And there's some other stuff, and like I said, you can check that out in Will's video. I'm not going to go back into that whole tutorial, but I think it's going to be pretty convincing. And there's still a lot of detailing left to do here in the cockpit. Here I've got some bell cranks and pulleys and things like this cable, that if you look on the side of the ejection seat, you can see the cable is supposed to run from up here down to this point. That's not there, so I want to make that. Also over here, these trip rods, I'm going to make a little bell crank that attaches up here and do the trip rods. Reference picture wise, what I was talking about before, you'll see in, where's that picture at here? Right here, this is a good shot. This area up here. So now I know that these are gray. I've got them painted black, which I'm going to go through and really reprime all this up here. So this will look different the next time we see it. Get these gray the way they're supposed to be. But I was able to go back and add the cables that are supposed to be there. So that's all added in. You know, I was going to go nuts all in the back here, but, you know, let me throw this fuselage half together here real quick, and you'll see that a lot of that's not going to be seen. Okay, so if we go back here into the back, you'll see that, and too, I don't have all of the mechanisms in place here for the canopy, and then of course canopy is going to be up, and even with the flashlight, you're really not going to be able to see much back in there. So I've elected not to go nuts coming off the circuit panels and all that with cables. It's just not going to be seen. So that's where we're at with the cockpit at this point. Okay, so what's next? Next we're going to continue on with the scratch building of the bell crank assemblies and things of that nature that I discussed before. I got to get the canopy mechanisms all installed, get the aft deck all painted again back here, primed, if you look at the bottom, and get all the detail painting done. Oh, here's another one. And oh, by the way, I got this nice little sheet of, let me find it here. It's my little tote. I always keep these little totes and put all my loose pieces in there that I'm working on. But if we come down in here, little piece of photo etch. And this little piece of photo etch has these killer little brass lap belts. See them? Guess what the instructions do not show anywhere? Those little brass up. Oh, I'm sorry. It does show them right here on the fret, but nowhere are there any instructions on where to put these lap belts in. So here again, I'm going to go back to reference pictures, find out how they're routed. And to be honest with you, I don't know if I'm going to use these or if I'm going to find myself an aftermarket set of lap belts to put in. Undecided, we'll see. But this is another thing with the instructions. Doesn't show it, doesn't tell you where to put them in anywhere. So there you go. Anyhow, finish up the cockpit. Once I get done with the cockpit, I'm going to break into this nose wheel well gun bay area here on step 3, and I'll be back to you guys before I start on that and show you where we're at with the cockpit once I get it all painted up and get it good to go. But anyhow, pressing forward, more to come. Again, thanks for sticking with me. I appreciate it. And remember, Mama, make America model again. Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one.